Find the average rate of change of this function over that interval. So if we just use the formula, the average rate of change is going to be g of x2, which we'll call 1, minus g of x1, which is negative 2, over 1 minus negative 2. So this is just a matter of figuring out what g of 1 is and what g of negative 2 is and plugging it in. So g of 1, I'll do that over to the side here. G of 1 is going to be 2 times 1 squared plus, come on now, my pen stopped working. There we go. Plus 9 over 1 to the 4th, which is just 1. So this is 2 plus 9, this is 11. G of 1 is 11. And g of negative 2 is going to be a little bit more challenging. 2 times negative 2 squared plus 9 over negative 2 to the 4th. This is negative 2 times negative. This is positive 4 times 2. That's 8 plus 9 over, this is what, 16? 8 plus 9 sixteenths. Well, 8 is how many sixteenths? That's 80 plus 48. That's 128. I think it's 128 sixteenths plus 9 sixteenths. Let me just double check that before we go any further. 8 times 16. Yep, plus 9. So this is 137 sixteenths. All right, not the prettiest, but it'll work. So this is g of 1, which is 11, minus 137 over 16. You probably could just get away with using the decimals, but, and then we get 1 minus negative 2, which is 1 plus 2, which is 3. So 11 sixteenths, or sorry, 11 in terms of sixteenths I can do by doing 11 times 16. That's 176. 11 is the same as 176 sixteenths minus 137 sixteenths all over 3. 176 minus 137, what is that, 29? 176 minus 137, 39. So I get 39 over 16 over 3. This is the same thing as 39 over 16 times 1/3 multiplied by the reciprocal. And we get, this crosses out with this. So it looks like the final answer is going to be 13 over 16. Or the decimal equivalent. There's easier ways to do this. So you could, if you wanted to put this into y equals, and then just hit second trace and trace these two values. Like real quick, I'll show you. If I went to y equals, clear out what I have, and I do 2x to the second plus 9 divided by x to the 4th. Let's see, zoom standard, that should work. Probably have to zoom out a little bit. Zoom out. So if I hit trace, let's see if that's enough space. Trace, and I type in 1. Whoops, go back to the graph. Trace 1. Nope. Trace. Oh, I'm on the wrong graph. I'm on a stat graph right now. Hang on, let me get rid of that. That's why that's not working. Now we go back. Trace. One. I get 11. So that's g of 1 is 11. If I type in negative 2, I get 8.5625. which I believe is 137 over 16. Yep. So you can do it that way. You can graph this and then just trace to get the y values, or you can do it by hand. Either way, the answer is 13 over 16. Okay, a little bit more complicated because there's variables involved. It says, given this, find the average rate of change. So again, the function is going to be f of x2 minus f of x1 over x2 minus x1. This is x2. This is x1. So this is f of 6 plus h minus f of 6 over 6 plus h minus 6. F of 6 plus h, that's 1 over 6 plus h plus 12 minus 1 over 6 plus 12, that's 1 over 18. All over, these are going to cross, that gives me just h. So let's just focus first on the numerator. Ignore the h, let's just focus on this. So this numerator is going to be 1 over 18 plus h minus 1 over 18. So I have to combine them into one fraction, but I can't just do this. You cannot just do plus h plus h. That changes the fraction. Big no-no. So what I have to do is find a common denominator by multiplying this one by 18 plus h over 18 plus h, and this one by 18 over 18. So the numerator becomes 18 minus 18 minus h over, I'm going to leave this as 18 times 18 plus h. So I'm going to do like two things here. I'm going to jump back to this. My numerator now is 18 minus 18. So this is going to be negative h over 18 times 18 plus h over h. Just like with the previous example, when I'm dividing by h, I can rewrite this as negative h over 18 times 18 plus h times 1 over h. And lastly, this crosses out with that. So the whole thing is going to be negative 1 over 18 times the quantity 18 plus h.